This 2020 player outlook, we're talking Bryce Love, running back, Washington football team. We appreciate you guys watching these videos. We appreciate you liking, subscribing, hitting that notification icon. We love you guys, and we appreciate everything you're doing, and just keep it up. And if you want to show a little extra love, RotoHeat.com, RotoHeat.com/Patreon. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
Man, Bryce Love. This is a guy who's near and dear to my heart. I was a big fan of him coming out of Stanford. I know he's had some injury issues in his career, and obviously he's still trying to return from a big injury. But I love the kid's work ethic, his heart, his desire. Everything I saw pre-draft, you're still seeing now. A lot of the things that people that made him enduring to a lot of people, and even caused him to still be drafted in the 4th round, even with a knee injury. You're still seeing that. With the news of Adrian Peterson being released, AP went on some of the radio there around Washington, and he really talked up Gibson and Bryce Love. And he loved, no pun intended, the way that Bryce Love is bouncing back from this injury, and the way he's grinding and working hard and just kind of attacking the recovery process. And that's Bryce Love in a nutshell. I mean, he's a hard worker, he's diligent, and when he puts his mind to it, he really does do his best to accomplish it. That being said, he's another one of those guys. So if you watch my Antonio Gibson video, you put a chip on the table and you see what happens. And in this case, you're banking on 2017 Bryce Love, because that was really the year that he exploded. In 2015, when he first got to Stanford, he was in 14 games, but they had some dynamic runners in front of him. So he was more just getting used to the college game. His second year in 2016, he got 111 attempts, got 783 yards and a 7.1 yards per attempt. That's pretty solid. But 2017, he erupted. 263 carries for 2,118 yards, 19 touchdowns. He also added another 33 yards in the passing game. Nothing big there. But he had 8.1 yards per carry in 2017. That was huge. And then we remember in 2018, not as big a year. Was playing through injury and really hurting. And that ended his college career. He had just under 1,000 yards. He had 783, and he was only averaging like 4.5 yards a carry. It wasn't great. But when you looked at the pre-draft process, when you checked out the different scouting networks, and and one that I really enjoy is the Draft Network. They talk about a lot of the things that you like about him: elusiveness, his ability to take it to the house on any given run, the dynamic runner that he is, as well as, his ability to just, even at his size at 5'9", right around 200 pounds, he's just so dynamic, and he can run between the tackles, he can bounce it outside, take it to the house. Really the only knock that any of the scouting groups really had was obviously the not being used a lot in the passing game, but then the durability. That's a huge concern for him. And it may be something that he may never ever really get to produce the way that we would like to have seen him because of this, but there's still hope. He's working hard. Everything out of camp he's been practicing and been healthy, and everything's looking good. And even it appears, I've been looking, scouring the internet, trying to get all the information I can, so that as we were putting this together for you, we had as much up-to-date info as we had. And he's practiced all summer. He's looking good, and it appears Washington may wind up carrying 4 running backs into the season because of the way that he's recovered and the way that he's bouncing back and things like that. So, but put an asterisk there. He still may get bumped down to the IR. They still may pup him, and because some of what you were hearing, and if you were reading some of the Washington news, is they still think he's still a little bit of time away from being back up to full speed. But coaches were saying they see 2017 Bryce Love on the field even now as he's getting closer and closer. So obviously some coach speak, some just fluff for the media, but the kid's a hard worker, and I believe that he can make something out of nothing. Now obviously in redrafts, you can draft them super late, one of the last few picks before you do your kickers and defenses, if you do kickers and defenses. But otherwise, you're probably better to just let him sit on the waiver wire and kind of keep an eye on him. Gibson's kind of the guy you want to get, maybe even a little Peyton Barber, but Peyton Barber is what he is, just like I said in the other video. Getting you 4-ish yards a carry, 3.5, 4 yards a carry, and that's kind of what he is. McKissic, is another one of those. I've seen him in Detroit, I've seen him in Seattle, and just nothing super exciting. But Bryce Love, if he can get back to healthy, very dynamic runner. If you pair him with Gibson, Gibson is a bigger back, physical back. And Love has some feistiness to him too, which is kind of what got him where he is. We like both of them. Maybe Washington's got their duo of the future, a couple of young guys who are really, really very talented and can do a lot. Who knows? But for 2020, we would tell you guys to be cautious. Probably let somebody else draft him if somebody's really going to draft him. Otherwise, let him sit on the waiver wire, and he can be a priority kind of free agent pickup if need be, if things are pointing in the right direction for him. Otherwise, from the dynasty perspective, I've stored him on taxi squads as long as I can, and I would encourage y'all to do so as well. Because he's talented, we want to see what happens with him. We hope for the best for him. If we get 2017 Bryce Love at some time in the NFL, that's going to be fun to watch. So let us know in the comments how you feel about Bryce Love. Did you draft him in your redrafts? If you did, where'd you draft him? If you were in dynasty, what'd you do with him? Are you stashing him? Are you seeing him traded? What's happening? Lots of questions, lots of conversations. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's talk about it on the RotoHeat Discord, on the Facebook community. Don't forget, like and subscribe to get updated every time we go live, every time we pump out content. During the season, we're going to be pumping out as much content as possible on the daily, on the regular. We're going to be live streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Sundays. We're going to be live streaming all the time. So keep it locked in here to RotoHeat on YouTube.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.